Two men. Both became billionaires. Both changed the world. Both built extraordinary fortunes. But if you gave each of them the exact same opportunity, they would almost certainly make completely different decisions. One would wait. The other would move immediately. One searches for certainty. The other embraces uncertainty. One protects capital. The other risks everything to build something impossible. Neither approach is wrong. In fact, both created some of the greatest fortunes in modern history. So the real question isn't who is richer. The real question is, which mindset would make you richer? Because becoming wealthy isn't about copying someone's life. It's about understanding how they think. In this video, we're going to compare two completely different philosophies of wealth. Not to decide who is better, but to discover which principles actually work and which mindset is right for different situations. Let's begin.
Part 1. Warren Buffett, the power of patience. Imagine you receive $100,000 tomorrow. Most people immediately start thinking about spending it. A better car, a bigger house, a luxury vacation, maybe even trying to double it overnight. But if Warren Buffett walked into the room, the first thing he would probably ask isn't, how much can I make? He would ask, what can I lose? That single question explains almost his entire philosophy. Most people think investing is about making money. Buffett thinks investing is about not losing money. That sounds simple, almost boring. But boring built one of the greatest fortunes in history. Because Buffett understands something most people never truly appreciate. Compounding only works if you stay in the game. Imagine planting a tree. You don't dig it up every week to check if it's growing. You water it, protect it, wait. Years later, it becomes something enormous. That is exactly how Buffett views wealth. Money is not something to constantly touch. It is something to allow to grow. This mindset is surprisingly rare. Today's world rewards speed. Everything happens instantly. Food arrives in minutes. Movies begin immediately. Messages are answered in seconds. People become impatient. They want fast success, fast money, fast results. But markets, business, and wealth rarely reward impatience. This is where Buffett becomes different. He is comfortable waiting. Not because waiting is exciting, because waiting allows great decisions to compound. Think about that. Most people believe action creates success.
Buffett believes the right action creates success. Those are completely different ideas. Imagine two investors. One buys and sells every week, always reacting, always chasing headlines, always afraid of missing the next opportunity. The other spends weeks studying, thinking, reading, then makes one decision and holds it for years. From the outside, the first person looks productive. The second looks inactive. But activity and progress are not the same thing. That lesson applies far beyond investing. Many people constantly change careers, businesses, projects, goals. Not because they are improving, because they become impatient. Every few months, they start over. Buffett rarely starts over. He doubles down on what already works. This requires something very difficult: confidence. Not confidence in predicting the future, confidence in your own process. That is an enormous difference. Because uncertainty makes people emotional. When prices fall, people panic. When prices rise, people become greedy. When everyone is excited, they feel forced to join. When everyone is afraid, they desperately want to leave. Buffett built an entire philosophy around ignoring that emotional noise. Not because emotions are bad, because emotions are unreliable financial advisors. Imagine standing in the middle of a crowded room. Everyone suddenly begins running toward one door. Would you run too? Probably. Humans naturally follow crowds, but wealth often requires doing something uncomfortable, thinking independently. This doesn't mean always doing the opposite. It means understanding why everyone is moving before making your own decision. That mindset is incredibly powerful because markets constantly reward discipline and punish emotional decisions. Buffett doesn't compete against other investors. He competes against human nature. Fear, greed, impatience. Those are his real opponents. Now, imagine Buffett looking at a company. Most people immediately ask, how much money can I make? Buffett asks completely different questions. Does this business create real value? Can it survive difficult times? Would I still want to own it 10 years from now?
Notice something interesting. Almost none of those questions involve today's stock price, because Buffett understands something many people forget. Price and value are not the same thing.
Something expensive can still be valuable. Something cheap can still be a terrible purchase. Most people buy based on price. Buffett buys based on value. That single distinction changes everything. Think about education. A great book might cost $20, yet it could completely change your career. Was it expensive or incredibly cheap? Now imagine buying something for $5 that you never use. Technically, it was cheaper, but it created zero value. Buffett applies this way of thinking everywhere. Money should buy future value, not temporary excitement. This philosophy also changes how you see time. Most people think, how much money will this make me? Buffett thinks, what will this become in 20 years? That perspective completely transforms decision-making.
Because when you think in decades, short-term distractions become much less important. You stop chasing trends. You stop comparing yourself to everyone else. You stop feeling pressure to get rich overnight. Instead, you begin building something that can actually last. This is one of Buffett's greatest strengths. He is willing to look boring today to become extraordinary tomorrow. Most people want extraordinary results immediately. Buffett accepts ordinary progress, knowing extraordinary results eventually follow. There is another reason this works. Patience protects judgment. Rushing creates mistakes. Imagine buying a house after seeing it for 30 seconds. Sounds ridiculous. Yet people constantly make financial decisions with even less thought. An exciting headline. A social media post. A friend's opinion. Suddenly, thousands of dollars disappear. Buffett slows the process down. Not because he is slow, because slowing down improves thinking. That may be one of the most underrated skills in wealth building. Thinking before acting, not acting before thinking. It sounds obvious, yet very few people consistently do it. And perhaps that is why Buffett's philosophy appears almost timeless. It is built on principles, not excitement, on discipline, not emotion, on value, not hype. But here's where things become fascinating. Because while Buffett spends enormous amounts of time reducing unnecessary risk, another billionaire built one of the largest fortunes in history by doing something that seems almost completely opposite. And yet, it worked. Part 2. Elon Musk, the power of innovation. Imagine giving Elon Musk the same $100,000. Would he study balance sheets for weeks? Probably not, because Elon isn't trying to find the safest opportunity. He's trying to build the biggest one. That is the first major difference. While Buffett asks, what could go wrong? Elon asks, what could this become? Neither question is better. They simply point in different directions. Buffett protects wealth. Elon creates it. Most people think Elon is simply a risk taker. That isn't true. He's a calculated risk taker. There is a difference. From the outside, his decisions often look reckless. Reusable rockets, electric cars, brain-computer interfaces, artificial intelligence. None of those ideas sounded obvious when they began. Many looked impossible. Some looked ridiculous. But Elon has always been comfortable investing years into ideas that most people ignore. That is one of his greatest strengths. He doesn't compete in crowded markets. He searches for problems worth solving. This is an important distinction. Most people look for opportunities that already exist. Elon asks whether entirely new opportunities can be created. That mindset changes everything. Imagine two entrepreneurs. The first opens another coffee shop because coffee shops make money. The second notices a problem millions of people face and builds something no one has built before. One competes, the other creates. That difference is enormous because competition usually divides value. Innovation creates new value. This is why Elon spends so much time thinking from first principles. Instead of asking, how has everyone always done this? He asks, what is fundamentally true? Then he rebuilds the solution from the ground up. Most people copy existing systems. Elon questions the system itself. That is why his companies often feel different. He is not trying to improve yesterday. He is trying to invent tomorrow. Now, imagine applying this mindset to your own life. Suppose your income hasn't changed in years. Most people immediately search for another job or hope for a raise. Elon would probably ask a different question. Why is my income limited in the first place? What assumption am I accepting without questioning it? That question can completely change your future.
Because many financial limits are not laws, they're habits. People assume they must trade hours for money forever. They assume growth must be slow. They assume someone else controls their future. Elon challenges assumptions. Not because every assumption is wrong, because some are, and finding the wrong ones creates opportunity. Another thing separates Elon from average thinking: his relationship with failure. Most people avoid failure because they think it defines them. Elon treats failure as information. If something doesn't work, he doesn't automatically conclude the vision was wrong. He asks what needs to improve. That sounds simple, but emotionally, it's incredibly difficult. Imagine building something for 2 years, only to watch it fail. Most people would stop.
Elon would study it, improve it, try again. This is one reason extraordinary achievements are so rare. The obstacle is rarely intelligence. It's persistence, the willingness to continue when the outcome is uncertain. Elon understands something powerful. Progress rarely looks impressive while it's happening. It only looks obvious afterward. People often call successful ideas genius, but before they succeed, they're usually called unrealistic. That is why innovation requires courage, not the absence of fear, the willingness to act despite uncertainty. Now, let's talk about time. Buffett is famous for thinking decades ahead. Elon also thinks long-term, but in a completely different way. Buffett waits for exceptional opportunities. Elon tries to create them. That changes how each man spends every day. Buffett spends enormous time reading, learning, thinking, understanding businesses. Elon spends enormous time building, designing, testing, improving systems. One gathers knowledge before acting. The other learns rapidly through action. Again, neither philosophy is universally better. Each produces different advantages. There is another lesson hidden here. Elon thinks in scale. Whenever he solves a problem, he naturally asks, can this help millions of people? Because solving larger problems usually creates larger rewards. This doesn't mean everyone should build billion-dollar companies. It means your income often reflects the scale of the problems you solve. A solution for one person creates limited value. A solution for millions creates extraordinary value. This idea changes the way you see opportunity. Instead of asking, how can I make more money? You begin asking, what problem can I solve better than most people? Money becomes the consequence, not the objective. That mindset appears repeatedly throughout Elon's career. His companies don't begin with money. They begin with difficult problems. Transportation, energy, space exploration, artificial intelligence. Whether every project succeeds isn't the point. The point is the direction of thinking. Big problems, big impact, big possibilities. This philosophy also changes your relationship with risk. Average people often try to avoid uncertainty completely. Elon understands that avoiding every risk can become the greatest risk of all. Because the world changes, technology changes, markets change, skills become outdated. If you never adapt, certainty slowly becomes vulnerability. Growth requires movement. Movement requires uncertainty. That doesn't mean gambling. It means accepting that meaningful progress almost always includes discomfort. Now, imagine placing Buffett and Elon in the exact same room. Give them the same amount of money, the same opportunities, the same economy. Would they make identical decisions? Not even close. One would patiently search for exceptional value. The other would aggressively search for exceptional opportunity. One compounds, one expands, one minimizes mistakes, one maximizes possibilities. And somehow, both became legends. Which raises one final question. If both philosophies created billions, which one should you follow? The answer is probably not the one you expect. Part 3. Which mindset should you follow? So, who wins? Warren Buffett or Elon Musk? If you're looking for a simple answer, you're asking the wrong question. Because this was never about choosing one billionaire over another. It was about understanding why both became successful using completely different approaches. Imagine two climbers standing at the bottom of the same mountain. One studies the map for hours, chooses the safest path, moves carefully, rarely makes mistakes. The other starts climbing immediately, tests different routes, sometimes slips, sometimes finds shortcuts no one else noticed.
both eventually reach the summit. Different paths.
Same destination. That is Buffett and Musk. Buffett teaches patience. Musk teaches ambition. Buffett teaches discipline. Musk teaches courage. Buffett teaches preservation. Musk teaches creation. The mistake most people make is believing they must choose one philosophy forever. You don't. The smartest people know when each mindset is useful. When you're learning, think like Musk. Experiment, build, create, develop skills, solve difficult problems, take intelligent risks, because this is how opportunities appear. But once you begin creating wealth, think more like Buffett. Protect it, invest wisely, avoid emotional decisions. Let compounding do its work. Many people do the opposite. They play it safe when they have nothing and become reckless after they finally make money.
That destroys wealth. Real wealth follows a different pattern. Take calculated risks while building, become disciplined while preserving. That is where both philosophies meet. This is something almost nobody talks about. People often compare Buffett and Musk as if one must be correct, but perhaps the real lesson is learning from both. Imagine driving a car. The accelerator makes you move. The brakes keep you alive. Which one is more important? Neither. You need both. Too much acceleration, you crash. Too much braking, you never go anywhere. Wealth works the same way. Musk is the accelerator. Buffett is the brakes. One creates momentum, the other protects momentum. Together, they create something far more powerful than either philosophy alone. Now, think about your own life.
Which side do you naturally lean toward? Do you spend months planning but rarely begin? Maybe you need more of Musk's mindset. Do you constantly jump from one opportunity to another without ever building something lasting? Maybe you need more of Buffett's discipline. The goal isn't imitation, it is balance. Because your future will not be determined by the billionaire you admire. It will be determined by the decisions you make every single day. The books you read, the skills you build, the risks you choose, the opportunities you ignore, the habits you repeat. Small decisions, repeated for years, become extraordinary results. That is something Buffett would agree with, and so would Musk. There is another reason this comparison matters. Most people think becoming wealthy requires discovering a secret, one hidden strategy, one perfect investment, one magical opportunity. But the truth is much simpler. Wealth is usually the result of consistent principles. Think long-term, create value, control emotions, keep learning, solve meaningful problems, own assets, stay patient, act with courage. None of these ideas are complicated. The difficult part is living them every day. That is why so few people become truly exceptional. Not because the knowledge is hidden, because discipline is rare. If Buffett suddenly lost everything tomorrow, his patience would remain, his judgment would remain, his principles would remain. If Musk suddenly lost everything tomorrow, his curiosity would remain, his ambition would remain. His ability to solve problems would remain, and those qualities are exactly what would allow them to build again. That is the biggest lesson of this entire video. Money is not the foundation of wealth, mindset is. Money can disappear, businesses can fail, markets can crash, but the ability to create value can always be built again. That is why studying successful people matters. Not because we want to become copies of them, but because every great builder leaves behind principles, and principles outlive fortunes. So, who wins? Buffett or Musk? Perhaps the better answer is this. The winner is the person who learns patience from Buffett, courage from Musk, and then builds a philosophy of their own. Because your goal was never to become the next Warren Buffett. Or the next Elon Musk. Your goal is to become the first successful version of yourself. Welcome to the Titans Method. Here we study wealth, psychology, discipline, and the principles behind extraordinary success. If you enjoyed this comparison, subscribe for more battles of legendary minds. Because the greatest investment you'll ever make is the one you make in the way you think.